And I can tell you he was genuinely loved everywhere he went. I had the opportunity to meet him once myself, just one time. And my granddaughter was playing in a golf tournament in Hot Springs. She's coming up on the final hole. She hits her second shot in the bunker. She makes a really good shot out of the bunker, sinks the putt and makes a par. And after the round, he walked up to her and smiled and said, "That was a great bunker shot." That's the kind of man he was. He especially loved the juniors. Meet him one time and that's all it took to know that this was a very special man. He served the membership of the Hot Springs Country Club the last 5 years of his life. He spent a great deal of time on the lesson tee, and according to close friend Barry Howard, the new general manager and director of golf at Hot Springs Country Club, not so new now, Tim simply loved helping people learn to play the game of golf. Earlier this year, the Hot Springs Country Club named the private teaching area of that practice facility the Tim Zimmerebner Teaching Tee. Includes a 200-pound monument with a bronze likeness of Tim. Tim's life ended way too soon in January of 2011. He was competing in a PGA-sanctioned tournament, and earlier that day, he made 10 birdies on his own ball, and his partner parred the only hole that Tim bogeyed for a 10-under par team score of 62. Tim Zim won 5 consecutive PGA Player of the Year awards, 2004 through 2008. He finished second in the 2009, added a 6th in 2010. Last year, the Arkansas PGA chapter changes the name of the Player of the Year to the Tim Zimmerebner Player of the Year. Chris Elia, who grew up at the El Dorado Country Club, said despite all of Tim's success on the golf course, golf was just a part of his life, something that helped him pay the bills. His family was the most important thing to him. In March of 2011, Tim and Dan Snyder were both inducted into the South Central PGA Section Hall of Fame in Oklahoma. And tonight, Tim's wife, Beverly, accepts his induction into the Arkansas Golf Hall of Fame. Beverly?
Thank you. Thank all of you for being here tonight. A special thanks to all of you at the ASGA for making tonight possible. Family and friends, I love you so much for being here for Tim. Congratulations to all the winners tonight. Tim would be beyond proud to be inducted into the Golf Hall of Fame with Dan, Petey, and Dr. Moore. I'm so proud and humbled to have the privilege of accepting this honor for Tim, and hope that just maybe God has opened a little curtain so Tim can see this honor presented and feel the love in this room tonight. Hammer time in heaven, Ely. I fell in love with North Hills golf assistant professional Tim Zimmerebner in 1985. It was obvious from the moment I met him how he loved the game of golf. 99% of our dates throughout our year of dating were spent taking Molly, age 3 at the time, to Arnold Palmer's driving range. And thanks for verifying that, Tracy. Always the last ones to leave, I'm quite sure that John and Tracy were thankful when we left so they could lock up. Back then, I had no clue if he had a good swing or not, but he sure was fun to watch. He would describe the exact path the ball would take before he hit it, and 9 times out of 10, it was the perfect shot. I'm guessing he maybe didn't practice his putting quite as much. The following year, we eloped to New Orleans, romantic yes, in spite of the fact he had signed up to attend Golf Business School 1 that week. Even childbirth revolved around golf. On October 19, 1988, when Scott was born, Tim drove us home from the hospital, left the car running in the driveway, and sped off to Hot Springs for the cup matches, now known as the Beaver Cup. Vacations were planned around golf outings, and we made such wonderful friends due to the fact that Tim was their golf pro. Many of you are here this evening. As you can see, golf was part of every aspect of our lives. I know he would wish to thank so many of you for your part in this journey into the Arkansas Golf Hall of Fame. Without the following people and events, tonight would not be possible. First, Tim would definitely thank his mom, Velma, who couldn't be here tonight due to her health. Thank you, Velma, for allowing him to play golf from sunrise to sunset and begin his lifelong love affair with the game of golf. Also, Bill Zimmerebner. Stand, Bill, where are you? His dad, he's way back there. Tim's dad and a lifetime member of the PGA. Thank you, Bill, for introducing Tim to the game of golf as a young boy and being his role model, not only for golf, but for becoming the man he was, a man of great integrity, loyalty, faith, and a true servant to others. Tim played college golf in Louisiana for Centenary and NLU, now known as ULM. After college, he made a decision to follow in his dad's footsteps in the golf business. Bill made a phone call to his good friend Tommy Hansen, who hired Tim as his assistant at North Hills Country Club. I want to thank Mr. Hansen for bringing Tim to Arkansas and for the valuable training that lasted him the rest of his life. I know he'd also want to thank Charles Ransom for hiring him as his assistant from '87 to '90 at the Country Club of Little Rock. There are many lifelong relationships that were formed, among them Dr. Mac Moore. Tim admired and respected you very much, Dr. Moore. And on a personal note, I'm sure he would thank you for that discounted vasectomy. In 1990, Tim became the head pro at Eldorado Golf and Country Club, where he put down roots for the next 17 years. Thank you, El Dorado, for the unconditional love and support you showed Tim and me for all those years. About 10 years ago, Tim and his dad partnered with Pete Parks to design and build his dream golf course, Mystic Creek in El Dorado, which bittersweetly opened this week with a benefit golf tournament held in Tim's honor. Thank you, Pete. Where are you, Pete? For making this dream become reality. Tim's golf dreams began coming true in 2004 following a heart attack, which spiraled into depression and desperation. He realized his life had become completely unmanageable and immediately began making positive changes in his thoughts, actions, and beliefs. From this moment of epiphany, Tim began the best years of his golf, personal, and spiritual life, which also explains the consecutive Player of the Year wins. Thanks for this goes directly to God and to an organization which shall remain anonymous. The last 4 years of Tim's life were spent as head professional at Hot Springs Country Club. Barry Howard, thank you from the bottom of my heart for hiring Tim. Hot Springs was the perfect town for us to spend our 4 years as empty nesters, to which we were adjusting quite well. Molly and Scott, what blessings you were to your dad. I know that he would want to thank you both for helping him stay grounded and focused as he pursued these dreams. You both made him want to be the best, whether he was on or off the golf course. He often said what a joy it had been to have not just one but 2 incredible kids. And then 15 months before he died, Molly gave birth to our grandson Will, and what an indescribable love and motivation for his Z-Pop he was. A great big thanks to all you pros and Jimbos and Chris Ely's out there for instilling that burning desire to beat your brains out every time you guys teed it up. However, it's not just the golf scores or his competitive drive or the love of the game that earned him this prestigious spot in the Golf Hall of Fame. I truly believe his passion was teaching the game of golf. After he died, I cannot tell you the huge number of cards, emails, and messages I received from grateful students, young and old. This note from Lindsay Harrell's mom, a high school student from El Dorado. Tim had such an influence on Lindsay and her game. When you guys moved to Hot Springs, she believed that there was no one else that could help her swing like Tim. So we drove up there for lessons. He could call and give her a pep talk so much better than her dad or I could. He never raised his voice during a lesson, and she dedicated this past season, her junior year and her senior year, to Tim. Molly Kyle, a Hot Springs Lakeside student, messaged this to me last year. I know you don't know me, but I'm on the Lakeside golf team. I started playing golf about 3 years ago, and Tim was the one who taught me everything I know about golf. He was such a great mentor and was always my biggest fan and encourager. Lakeside girls went on to win state last year, and Molly and her teammates dedicated the victory to Tim. She was quoted in the newspaper saying, "He taught me everything I know about golf. We won it for him. I mean, we're putting Tim Zim on our rings." Richard Pillsbury, who grew up in El Dorado and worked in the golf shop for Tim, said, "Tim was an incredible teacher of the physical, mental, and emotional aspects of golf." Drew Greenwood, who is here tonight, was one of Tim's best students from Hot Springs Lakeside. Drew won the 2009 Arkansas 5A State Championship. He called or texted Tim before, during, and after that in almost every tournament. On college signing day at Lakeside, when he signed to play for the University of Memphis, right there on the table beside him and his parents was an 8x10 picture of Tim. He keeps a shadow box with Tim's cap and ball on his nightstand at college. What cherished testimonies to a true champion. I recently found this 2005 speech in Tim's pocket of his suit jacket, and I'm pretty sure it's a sign that he would like to have the last word tonight. He says, "Most importantly, I give praise to God for putting all these people and events in my life. Through that, I'm developing faith and am becoming a champion." Matthew 5:6, "Blessed are those who thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." And my friends, tonight there's no doubt in my mind that Tim is filled. Also that night 7 years ago, Tim closed with this Teddy Roosevelt poem entitled "The Arena." It's not the critic that counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbled, or whether the doer of deeds could have done them better. No, the credit belongs to the man in the arena, who strives valiantly, who errs and often comes up short, who, if at best in the end, knows the triumph of higher treatment and high achievement, and who, at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his soul shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Please raise your glasses with me. To Tim Zim, always and forever, a champion in golf, in love, in life, and of God. Thank you from the bottom of this broken heart. And pros, I know it's coming up this weekend, and all I have to say is do it again. Let's make it 3 in a row for Randy and Tim.